Hello, and welcome back to Durham, North Carolina, a sub-region of America that contains an intriguing mix of species with unique habits and idiosyncrasies. Last time, we explored the life of a typical bro, honing in on their behavior as an archetypal pack animal. As we've watched the bro evolve over the past year, we've seen particular behaviors that have emerged as they continually adapt to their environment, and others that have been adopted by the female of the species. These behaviors have become more apparent since the introduction of the first year, a species similar to the second year, though at a different stage in their evolutionary development, likely due to less exposure to environmental influences. We seek to shed light on the transition from the first year species into the second year species and the unavoidable and consequential alteration of habits and natural environment. Comparing these two enigmatic groups, we begin to understand which behaviors are most influenced by environmental stresses, this time on planet Fuqua. The first major observable difference between the two species is the physical impact of a heavy night of drinking, typically taking place on a Tuesday or Friday. Note the first year species set an alarm for 8 AM, enter the Station 9 gym, and proceed to sweat profusely, muttering, "The Fuqua 15 is not real." Not real! Not real! The second year, much like the first year, attempts also to reduce the severity of the hangover via physical exertion, typically lacking both the ability and willpower to rise until 2 PM, then opting to feed on the leftovers from a late-night scavenge at Cosmic Cantina. The level of exertion has significantly diminished and thus requires frequent rehydration. Another compelling yet puzzling comparison between the two species can be observed in how sustainably they manage their resources. Let's take a look at a group of first years as they sit down to a rather frugal Sealy team dinner.
What's the deal? Where's the real food? There's nothing here. Gandhi ate more than this.
Conversely, the second year species, having recently come into a lump sum of cash courtesy of a seasonal employment opportunity, and heavily influenced by the somewhat pervasive principle of wohosi, chooses to shop at Whole Foods, all the while rationalizing excessive expenditure on coconut water and kale salads. We see another example of the differences between the two species in the way they approach class breaks. The first year, a typically anxious creature, uses the time to replenish their resources and prepare for upcoming academic endeavors. The second year also uses this time to replenish his or her depleted resources, although in a slightly different fashion.
Trip 'em up with the words. I done popped the molly and I think it's be my third. Jordan Belfort. Fascinating creatures, aren't they? The stark differences between the two species represents one of Fuqua's most notable unresolved mysteries. Through regular documentation and research, we seek to uncover more information about this remarkable evolutionary cycle. Cheers. Jordan